It was a midnight call on a dark and cold night. I pulled into the parking lot of the residence hall. A college student, male, 21 years old, had been asphyxiated. The local authorities had deemed it an accidental manslaughter, from the last I was told. I suspect foul play. Minimal signs of a struggle. The place was clean when I got here. This is either a self-inflicted attack or an attacker with frankly impressive strength. A most unusual case, but the question of whether this was a tragic accident or an act of murder still remains.
Hi, is this Sam Scott? My name is Private Detective James Sawyer. I'm calling to ask you to come in for questioning tomorrow at 2 p.m. regarding the murder of your roommate Jonathan Rivers. As of right now, you're not a suspect, but since you are a witness, I need your testimony to put together the scene of the crime. If you have any questions or concerns about your involvement in this case, call back at this number and we can address them. Alright, thanks for your cooperating. I'll see you tomorrow. Hi, is this Jamie Elliott? My name is Private Detective James Sawyer. I'd like to call you in for questioning tomorrow at 3 regarding the murder of your resident, Jonathan Rivers. As of right now, you're not a suspect, but since you were a witness, I need your testimony to put together the scene of the crime. If you have any questions or concerns about your involvement in this case, call back at this number and we can address them. Thanks for your cooperation. I'll see you tomorrow.
Where were you when Rivers was killed? He was killed in his room. I assume you were the first to find him.
I was out. I think I was at the library studying. I got home late. You're right about that. I did find him, but at first I thought he was asleep or maybe he'd been drinking. But then when I went to go check on him, I realized he was dead. I thought I wasn't a suspect.
You're not a suspect. Should you be?
No, I would never. John was a good guy. Reckless? Yes. Irresponsible? Of course. A pain in my ass sometimes. Who isn't? But he's been my friend since I started college, and he's helped me through some tough times. I would never do that.
Did your roommate have any enemies, debts, or instances of strange behavior lately?
John was always a weird guy. He had secrets. You would never know by just looking at him, but when you're living with him, you notice things.
Like what?
Like, for instance, he's been going out at night with his guitar. It's not unusual. He plays in a band with a few other guys, but I know that they haven't been playing a lot of gigs lately, and he usually invites me when they do play. And his bandmate, Ed, he's been acting weird.
Tell me more about him.
Well, he used to follow John around constantly, but now disappears off the face of the earth, only to return at midnight, trying to get John to go to God knows where, always with that damn guitar.
What's Ed's last name? Can you tell me anything else you know about him?
Yeah, his full name is Ed Murphy. He's the lead singer of John's band, and he's been a real dick lately. John used to complain that Ed would threaten to kick him out of the band almost constantly, like every time they worked together.
Interesting. Well, I think we're just about done here. We'll help bring whoever did this to Rivers to justice.
Yeah, sure, thanks.
The staff informed me that you were the RA on duty at when the victim was killed. Where were you at the time of death?
I stepped out last night to go on break around the time he usually would get back. Our breaks are regularly scheduled by the RD, so I figured it wouldn't be a problem. I came back from my break and ran over to his apartment when I heard a scream. I followed the sound and, well, found him with Sam.
Did you know Rivers outside of your assigned duties?
Not as a friend, no. Maybe an acquaintance. He'd regularly be at off-campus parties and such, so I'd occasionally run into him. So he was always friendly, but he seemed a little distant.
Do you remember what he was doing there?
A lot of people would come up and talk to him, but he didn't usually seem like he was having the best time. I got the feeling that he didn't want to be there, but had to be. I think it was something related to Murphy, that kid's bad news.
Alright, did your resident display any out-of-the-ordinary behavior, any recent disciplinary events, or other relevant information?
Not especially. He was kind but quiet. I never really had a reason to look into him. I didn't notice that he'd get back from those nights off campus with a notebook in hand. One night a piece of paper had fallen out of his notebook and I had picked it up, intending on returning it to him. It's nothing crazy, just a list of names.
Alright, can you tell me anything else about this Ed Murphy? After that, you're free to go.
Yeah, actually, he used to always follow John around like a lost puppy. That was at least before they started booking local gigs. Ed was so much more aggressive after that. I think he was jealous of all the special attention John was getting.
Alright, thanks. I have no further questions. You're free to go. Thanks for your cooperation. Our victim was definitely having some issues with his bandmate Ed Murphy. Seems like they were both involved in things other than this band together. Something must have been off about that guy if he was mentioned in both student interviews as being problematic. I think I need to bring in this Ed Murphy. So Ed, You're in River's band, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And if I remember right, you guys are having a tough time securing gigs lately, right?
What's it to you? Not like it matters anyways. The band's lying dead in the apartment.
From my understanding, Ed, River's starting to bring attention to your band. You think you'd have plenty of gigs lined up. What was the problem?
It's not that simple. Yeah, John may have been bringing attention to our band, but he was only pulling in small gigs. Do you think I want to be running the bar circuit for the rest of my goddamn life? Our band was way better than that. We deserved a bigger stage. I told John that we couldn't take those local gigs anymore. We were too good for that. If he didn't like it, he could quit.
So there was friction between you two?
Ever heard of a band before? Of course there was friction between us. It's just how it goes. I guess I should go fuck myself for having dreams, huh?
Why would Rivers be out all night with the guitar if you didn't have any gigs?
I don't know, man. You ever heard of band practices?
But I assume band practice doesn't take all night. Surely there'd be noise complaints.
Nah, we practiced for like 2 hours and then he'd leave.
And you have no idea where he goes after?
I don't know. I don't care where he goes. He probably just went home or something.
Alright, I have no more questions for now, but stay in town.
Whatever, man. I'll listen to you when I see a warrant.
Ed Murphy was very suspicious during his questioning. He definitely harbored bad feelings about the victim and was cagey about his responses. He's definitely a potential suspect, but I need proof to bring him in. Weirdly enough, Murphy reminds me of someone I used to know. Can't quite put my finger on who.
You the detective?
Yeah, I'm Detective James Sawyer. I'm here to review the security tapes from the night that Jonathan Rivers was murdered.
Yeah, give me a second, I'll bring it up. You okay, detective? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Yeah, I'm fine. Could you play that back one more time?
Yeah, sure.
The man the victim is running from looks like Ed Murphy, but it's hard to tell. I can't see his face.
You know, it's funny.
Why's that?
Looking at the footage, the kid running looks a bit like you. Wake up.
I need to get back to the crime scene.
Wake up.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Wake up.
Is this real, or am I dreaming? If I'm John, then who's the detective? Who are you? Who am I? Who are you? Why do you look like me? Why am I here? You died. I've been investigating your murder. My name's Detective James Sawyer, and you should be Jonathan Rivers, but you look just like me. You died. You can't be me. So that brings us back to the question of who are you? Because right now, you're supposed to be a dead man. But I am John Rivers, and I don't know how I got here. What's the last thing you do remember, then? I was with Ed Murphy. We were in a band together. I can't remember what we were doing at the time, but I think he was pissed at me for some reason. Did you fight a lot? Not until recently, no. Or at least, I don't think so. But what about you? How can you be investigating my murder if I'm not really dead? Who really are you, detective? I'm not the dead man here. Actually, come to think of it, I don't remember anything before your case. But how can that be true if I'm here, aren't I? I'm literally talking to you. But how can I be talking to you who looks like me and I can't remember seeing your face at the original crime scene? Am I not real? Well, one of us isn't. I might be missing some time, like, recently, but I remember my life before this. But how does this happen? How can we both be here? Does this mean I'm dead or is this just some twisted, sick dream in my head? I'm not sure, but if you're real, that means I'm not actually here, right? What's happening? Where are you going? I don't know. This is